Okay, happy day. It is finally my grand rising again. Uh, what, 5 hours later? I've been awake for a minute. Um, and I noticed today, I've been, well, I've been paying attention to the genetically modified mosquitoes since the 90s, right? Which was very interesting because two of my children were allergic to fleas and mosquitoes. And I always thought that was odd. Um, and then, let's see, their father told me probably about 8 years ago when we ran into each other again, that my son had grown out of that. He no longer had an allergic reaction. And I thought, how convenient, because I haven't noticed those genetically modified mosquitoes, the ones with the little white rings around their legs. Yeah, I don't ever recall seeing those when I was young, and then all of a sudden they were there, and all of a sudden my children would end up with these big swollen knots on their body, and it would, huge, nasty marks. Some of them would get little blistery, and it was a horrible thing, real hot and swollen, and fleas would do the same thing, but not as bad because, the fleas, right? Well, here lately I have noticed there's a difference in fleas. There's a difference in gnats. There's these little gnats that run around that look robotic when they move, and I swear when I get them, they just dissolve into dust. And I'm like, what the hell? And then there's these other mosquitoes that are out there that are different. Of course, they tell you, we're putting genetically modified mosquitoes because it's supposed to dumb down the population or spray stuff in the air to kill the moths, and we're doing these things, the things that they tell us. So I'm like, yeah, what about the things you're not telling us? And then I recall there was a year, well, it might have been about 8 years ago, where I think they started fucking with fleas. Of course, this is when, my dog River Lady was still alive. And I had babysat another dog, which was a really bad idea. I feel like fucking Satan landed in my house. Anywho, of course we had fleas. We had a dog. They're out in the yard. You have yard fleas, little normal brown fleas, right? Well, those fleas turned out being black. Black fleas, harder than hell to kill. And some reason it gave all of my animals worms, including the cats. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Well, I've been sitting and talking about all the different things we've noticed, and we've, with the chemtrails that come over, there's times that they've sprayed stuff and I see white things in the air falling, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I need to get the hell out because I don't want to breathe in whatever they're putting that's I can actually see landing on the ground. And then there was other stuff that was landing on the ground. We go after the helicopters have come over, or, they've sprayed the chemtrails. And little spots of white things all over the ground, and as the day went by, or the temperature rose, it was like it kind of disappeared. No, it was. It reminded me of the look of mycelium just on the ground all over in places. And I'm like, okay, well, that's nifty. Who knows what the hell they're putting out there, right? Well, I've noticed now the fleas, again, are different. And I'm like, why in the hell is that different? Like, okay, let me explain, because I really want somebody to tell me if they've noticed a similar thing. Because I know this sounds like conspiracy theory shit, but, when they're telling us they're genetically modifying things, and then all of a sudden I am noticing a difference, and it kind of correlates with whatever new disease they want to throw out there, right? So, yeah, just a hypothesis. My brain just really goes where sometimes it should go. However, please, well, I guess it's been a couple months now. All the cats had babies, and they all started dying of a respiratory something or other that I couldn't cure, didn't have the home remedies to do anything. None of my remedies would do a damn thing. It wouldn't help them at all, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. Well, the red diamond plant And Celeste, I guess, had exploded and all that stuff. And well, it didn't explode. It just spit out chemicals, some kind of acid it shouldn't have spat out. But they burn chemicals all the time. Like, apparently every night they burn their waste. And so it goes off into the air, right? Well, gases travel pretty far. And I didn't know it at the time. But I had seen the yellow plume in the sky way before anybody said, oh, we have to evacuate, right? Okay. I'm like, it's been fucking leaking. Why are you all of a sudden evacuating now? Because you have more gas coming out than your quota allows, because it might actually start killing the villagers, and then people would actually sue the Red Diamond plant, right? Cover their own ass. Well, at that time, every one of the kittens died. I think, shit, I don't even know, freaking 14 kittens. Just, I don't think any of them made it to 2 weeks old, and they literally suffocated. I couldn't do anything, and I've got some amazing freaking homemade remedies, right? So it had to affect the mother's milk, and like one, the mothers got dry or sour or something, so even the kittens started smelling their, poo was, it was horrible. And of course, moms didn't really want to be there because they realized, hey, I can't do anything for you, and then they stopped suckling, like brain neurological disorders, because it's like they couldn't do, it's like their muscles stopped or something. They couldn't suckle even though they were hungry, but they couldn't breathe either. So that was a horrible experience. And then we just had another litter of kittens. None of these survived a week, like none of them. And there was no indication of anything wrong, couldn't figure out what was on. And then finally the last two, I'm like, well, what if it's the fleas? Because all of a sudden I was noticing I was getting bit by fleas, and it was leaving little bumps on me like I had just gotten bit by a mosquito. And it feels like something is injecting into me, not like I was bit by an ant or a normal flea. These babies stung. And I'm a strong-ass woman. I can handle a whole lot of pain. But these things, I'm like, oh my God, they were driving me crazy. It was making me mad, because it just felt like needles and needles and needles. Like somebody kept injecting me with shit. And nobody wants to be poked with needles. I don't give a damn if you get tattoos. This shit would fucking hurt. Okay, so let's continue. Now all the kittens are dead. It's been, well, I don't know, maybe just 3 days. Okay. Because the cats brought them in the house, keep them safe, so the coons didn't eat them and drag them off, and because we've had that horrible shit happen, my heart is like, oh my God, no. So yeah, fucking come in, have your kittens, dealing with the fleas, which normal fleas, not a problem, right? Yeah, these things, they hurt bad. And I've noticed I've been waking up with, actually been waking up in a really good mood, but as soon as I get up and I grab my coffee and I have my smoke, I'm like, instant snot in my head. I get a headache. I feel like my joints are all cramping up and stuff, and I'm like, I can't have this shit. I got a metal neck. I have to move. I have to feel good so that I can function, right? So I'm telling myself it's all made up in my head. It ain't real. Okay, can't be the fleas, right? Can't be fleas. Well, I'm beginning to wonder if they didn't drop some fleas. At least flea eggs from the sky. Because at first they were all outside. And now that she had come in and had those babies, and now mind you, I don't think she was even in the house for 2 weeks. I don't think she was even in the house for 2 weeks, because she come in the day she was giving birth, and, well, they weren't even living for, I think I let her stay in here for maybe a day, 2 days after, because she was mourning for her children, because she'd whine around the house and look for them knowing they were dead. But what mother wants to know, hey, I'm in disbelief that my child is gone, right? So then more fleas, because she'd go out, she'd collect the fleas, she'd bring them back in. Wasn't even thinking about that. Well, now that she's out of the house, these fleas are getting on me. And I have to tell you, yesterday it was so bad, I was fucking whining. I'm like, no, like, it hurt so bad, I wanted to just fucking cut off my skin because I couldn't handle being poked and poked and poked and poked, and it would continue to sting, and it would swell up really big and be warm and hot. And I wish I had one that I could show you, but I ain't, because, you know, I ain't quite up yet. So the whole reason about this lovely little rant is this. I woke up this morning, yes, I just had a little 5-hour nap or 4-hour nap because I've been up for about an hour. Let's see. It was about 4 hours I slept. And I was laying there going, oh, okay, I gotta get the birds out and all that stuff because I can't let them just stay locked up, right? But it was feeling good, and I'm like, wow, I feel really good today, even though I've slept just 4 hours. And we'll get up and move and get our stuff done and jump up and let all the birds out, and I come back in and get me a cup of coffee, and I've had like 6 fleas bite me by then, right? Nice little swelled up bumps. My feet are all swollen. I'm like, I've never had a reaction to fleas like this ever in my 55 3/4 years, okay? And then all of a sudden I start getting a headache. And I start getting snot. And I started feeling a little tight, like I'm stiff. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because I haven't done anything else. I haven't really done anything other than let them out. So it's not like I've been out yonder to get bit by anything other than the fleas. So no mosquitoes, no little beetle bugs. I don't know about those, but man, those bitches hurt bad too. And I'm like, why? And they sting worse than damn mosquitoes too. And I'm like, what are they doing to all these insects? And then they want us to eat the bugs? No. Like, I'm really beginning to wonder, because I'm like, it feels like I'm being injected with something. And then, not to be paranoid or anything, which is why I'm on here going, hey, anybody notice anything different about the insects? You know, mainly fleas, mosquitoes. I haven't had any weird things with ants. I can't remember. Little beetle bugs, and there's something else I mentioned. I'm sorry, I can't remember. Ticks. The ticks were different. Ooh, that's a story for a day. Anywho, those 6 freaking little fleas got my feet. My feet are red. It's inflamed, little bubbles, and I can't even tell you. They still sting. Like, at least I'm not digging, trying to scratch it off my body, but ooh, they still sting, and it's irritating, and just instant snot and headache and discomfort. And I'm like, aren't they saying there's like recalls on food because of E. coli and listeria and some other things? And then I have to go, well, you know, maybe it's because I had the stuff, those big blisters. And that is a question. Is it because I got infected by whatever that was and it left all the scars on me? Because that was on me for a month. And honestly, it took, after that disappeared, a month to heal the physical part, even though sometimes it still itches. It's like it's still there, which is really bizarre to me. But it has literally taken me damn near a month to feel normal after all of that stuff. It's because I got started with the blisters on the 4th of July. So about around August 4th is when it was all finally blisters gone, skin healed, even though they're still itching. There was no more heat or inflammation. My apologies. And then I went, wow, am I just being affected because I had the weird smallpox wannabe blisters all over my body? So that's another question. So is anybody else experiencing the weird things with the fleas? I really, really want to know. And if you are, maybe pay attention, because it doesn't matter if you have flea-free house. If you're outside, those fleas are going to get you because you have outdoor fleas all the time, right? So I'd really like to know, are they affecting you differently? Do you suppose they are also genetically modified and they're just not telling us? Because I can't even remember what the new thing was that they're going to modify, oh, fucking flies, because apparently we have this new worm that it's a flesh-eating worm, right, that gets our animals. So thank you, government, for creating that one. Like, we didn't have enough terrifying bioweapons. We obviously need that as well. So, you know, I want to know if anyone else is having issues with fleas. And if you are, please pay attention to what your body reacts to, how it reacts after getting bit by the fleas. Because if I only got bit by 6 fleas, honey, and yeah, no, I don't eat a bunch of bioengineered food, and I don't take any medicines that are pharmaceutical. I don't do any of that stuff. So I'm not a big chip eater. I don't eat a lot of, although now I got to stop eating anything with white sugar because that's bioengineered now too, unfortunately. So, cane sugar all the way. Or brown sugar, one of the two. Because I'm not going to ingest that white sugar. It was poison to begin with because they did weird shit to it, just like iodine salts, you know. Did you know that sugar, you used to have a prescription to get? Just FYI, I guess. All the little things that are going on. So please, somebody tell me, because I know I get views on YouTube, but it doesn't tell me I have views. I'll see like, oh, there's like 4 views on a video, and then all of a sudden there are no views at all, and I don't get notified on comments, so I don't know if anybody gets comments. I don't know. Like, I believe I saw I had 1 subscriber, and I should be partying. Yay! I have 1 subscriber. Woo! But you know, I don't know what YouTube is doing with my videos. And I don't know if it's because, maybe it's just because I fucking shine love. Because, you know, anybody who shares love, better watch out. Government can't have love. We can't have somebody loving themselves. Oh my God, no, we have to have them live in fear. Which is also why I think they genetically modify all the shit that they do to keep us in fear. Because, you know, we're not afraid of COVID anymore. We've got to be afraid of something. We've got to be afraid of eating meat. Oh, yeah, that's it. The ticks. That if you get by the ticks, you then become allergic to protein. Tell me that shit ain't genetically modified. I actually had ticks that got on my body. Oh, my God. So tiny. And you know I have to wear 2 pairs of glasses to see anything up close, right? Okay. Those things were so tiny. They were like as small as fleas, and they got on my body and bit. And when they latched on to my body, it's like my skin, little flea, or tick, it's like it made a volcano in my skin. And so it was sticking out, like the skin was pulled up around it, like it was trying to burrow in my body and have the skin cover up over it. That was some scary stuff. That was very painful. That was a little scary. And it was not cool. Not to mention, those freaking tick bites have left scars because they have itched and itched and itched and itched, and whatever has been put in there, like it reforms in the spot where it wanted to scab over. It's more like it crusted, and I have to scratch the shit out of it because it felt like something was in there, right? So for months and months and months, I would scratch and dig whatever the flip was in my body out of my body. And finally, I'm okay. It no longer affects me, but I have a scar. So, you know, a little scar, not fun. You know, I used to make fun of me having melanoma, yes, melanoma, a little scar thing, skin cancer, and have all these little places on my body where they'd have to cut moles out and they look like Swiss cheese. Well, I'm polka dotted with little scars now because of all the genetically modified critters that they have thrown out there, insects, to affect us. So, I don't know, crazy rant. Somebody's gonna go, oh shit, woman, you're fucking nuts. But pay attention. Really, pay attention to those insects. See how your body is reacting to them. Because I kind of have a feeling they're just wanting people to believe, from the fleas, from the mosquitoes, from the crazy little gnats that want to fly in your freaking nose. That's what's scary. Those damn little mechanical looking gnats, they want to fly up in your face. Like, why do you want to be inside my body? Never had gnats do that before. Anywho, yeah, I sound crazy. It's alright. I don't give a shit if I sound crazy because I know what I witness. I just wish other people would witness things and collaborate, because we each get one little piece of the story. We just get one little piece. That's why we're supposed to communicate, guys. So we put all our pieces together and go, oh wow, bigger picture, what the fuck? That's it. So, I love you. Thanks for being my friend. I'll see you later.